What's the biggest problem with how we think about ROI today? It's the false belief that return on investment should be perfectly measurable and predictably perfect before you act. Finance teams love certainty. They want clean numbers, forecasts, and models that they can control. And it's not just finance. The whole business world, especially in North America, is stuck in a race for efficiency instead of a race for opportunity. When you look at analytics, especially embedded analytics, this mindset creates real problems. You're asked to justify investments in dashboards, in data, in tools that improve decision making, improve customer experience, and your product itself. But those beliefs aren't always easy to measure upfront. If your organization is allergic to ambiguity, you get stuck only doing the things that you can prove in advance. And the result? You end up squeezing more out of the bottom of the funnel instead of building value up top. This is true whether you're embedding analytics into a SaaS product or rolling out reporting across your operations. In embedded use cases, the value is in better customer retention, increased usage, competitive differentiation, new revenue streams. But those gains show up gradually. They take time to measure. And if your business only invests on what it can measure instantly, you miss them. One easy way to think about this is through an efficiency factor. We're not just talking about working faster, but saving days that would have been spent massaging data or getting insights ready for weekly or monthly reporting. Freeing up time improves real efficiency. And your teams can spend that time working on things that actually move the needle. And the more involved people are in the process, the greater the impact. Small gains compound fast. This calculator that we've created and we're about to use was designed with internal efficiency in mind, but this logic absolutely extends to the embedded use case. And internal models often understate the potential return when embedded analytics get into the product. In embedded analytics scenarios, you're also looking at reduced churn, faster time to market, happier customers, and more product engagement, leading to more sales. But we need to ground this in a traditional ROI model. We need something that we can calculate because a lot of those are difficult to predict. So let's walk through a scenario using an interactive calculator that we built using Logi Symphony. And this tool will give you a way to model efficiency gains and explore how small performance improvements create measurable business value. So in this scenario, let's start with a team of 10 users, each earning, let's say, $75,000 per year, a good ballpark. For our efficiency factor, let's assume that our employees are losing a little bit more than 3 days a month doing reporting work, pulling numbers, doing calculations, performing self-service, everything needed to report to their superiors for upcoming meetings, quarterly business reviews, etc. This means that we can peg them around an 85% efficiency based on this assumption. And this way, it's pretty conservative. They're probably spending a lot more time than this. Also, this isn't to suggest that we're suddenly going to give them 15% more efficiency in everything they do. It's just a delta that we can use to calculate savings. For the upfront work on the project, let's assume that it's going to take 2 developers 2 months to set up everything, get it integrated, embedded, all upfront work. Now, your mileage can vary here significantly, depending on if you're delivering more of a self-service model to your users, or you're going to be building every possible dashboard for every possible reporting scenario. It can swing wildly, but it's up to you, and it is something you can control. Now, you can see that we get pretty good predictions of cost over time based on these inputs that we've provided. I just want to point out that we really quickly can calculate something that we call the FTE loaded rate. This means that the total cost of a full-time employee, after you include salary, benefits, equipment, overhead, is a bit more of a more accurate number rather than just looking at salary by itself. And it gives us a cleaner way to tie in time savings back to real dollars. So as we move from cost to return, this is where things get interesting. Based on the inputs that we've given, our team size, wage, efficiency, we're seeing an average return of around $7,800 per month per employee. Multiply that across your whole team, and you're looking close to $80,000 annually in recovered value. Now stretch that across 5 years, and the return starts to scale. Your team gets time back, delays reduced, manual work drops, and energy goes into work that actually moves the business forward. And remember, this is based on a conservative model. We're only reclaiming a portion of the time that's currently being lost. The more embedded your analytics are and the more tightly it fits into your user's workflow, the stronger the return can get. Of course, this is just one facet of the whole story, right? The embedded analytics story builds on top of this as your users are still gaining time benefits, but your customers are they no longer logging a ticket? What if product usage goes up because analytics has created stickiness? What if you have reduced churn that has enabled sales to pitch higher value SKUs and include advanced reporting in what they offer? None of this shows up in this staffing model that it gave you, but it does have real long-term results. Salary-based ROI gives you a conservative foundation that we can use as a picture and the opportunity cost you avoid. So if your company only invests on what it can fully measure in advance, you'll always be late. You'll build for yesterday's problems. But if you build with purpose and understanding the value of efficiency and clarity for your users or your users' users, then analytics isn't a cost. It's a lever that moves everything else. Thanks for watching. And if you're interested in the subject of ROI, check out our 2025 Embedded Analytics Research Report. It shows that 99% of organizations see ROI on embedded analytics within 12 months. If you want to understand what that means for your organization and you'd like to explore how you can quantify your potential return, check out Logi Symphony. We'd love to help. And remember, your data is talking. Are you listening?